Me Anything. How you doing? I hope that you guys had a wonderful Monday. It has been a beautiful day. For me today, I've gotten some of the stuff that I need to get done, but I took vacation this week because we're in the week of gratitude, y'all. So I needed to give myself some time to rest and get myself just get some downtime and just really appreciate just everything about where life is, what I'm doing, and one of the things I love to do is I get to spend some time with you. So welcome to the Girl Ask Me Anything broadcast, Monday Moments. My name is Coach Desi, and I love to help later in life women entrepreneurs who are bootstrappers, the ones that are out there just trying to get it and build and grow and develop. And if, that are a little tech challenged, I help them get over the tech blues so that they can get back to doing the things that they love. And I'm also a leadership expert, licensed and certified with the John Maxwell team. So we love to say that we are people of value who add value to people of value. And I love Monday Moments because I get a chance to meet women and share women that are amazing. They have a gift that they're bringing to the world. They are extraordinary in what they do because they found their love, they found their passion. They really want to add to other people. And tonight's no different. So thank you for joining me tonight. If this was your first time checking out Monday Moments, I would like to ask if you would be a friend and you would share this live stream. Let other people know that there's a place where we are going to be lifting up women, helping women, supporting women, and sharing their stories with the world. So I could go on and on and on about that, but I've got somebody who is here with me tonight and who I'm very excited to bring to you. So I'm going to do what I just asked you to do first, and I'm going to share this broadcast. And I see we do have some people that are jumping on and saying hello. So, hey, Monica, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share about my friend, Mrs. Allana Pinkerton. Allana is a certified nutrition coach. She is the founder of Life with Allana. That is her business. And one of the things that Allana does is that she helps people create the abundant life for themselves. Now you're probably thinking, okay, how does that work, Desiree? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring Allana on, and she could tell you more about what she does. So, hello, Allana.
Good evening, good afternoon, where you are, I guess.
I know
it's dark 30 here.
It's starting to get dark 30 here too. So now, Allana, where are you from?
I am living in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm originally from Miami Beach. I'm one of the few native Floridians that you'll meet, but I've been here 20 years, so almost 21.
Oh, very, very cool. And what is it that you love about Alabama? I mean, you've been there for so long.
We have. We originally came up here because it was my husband's from here, and it was an opportunity to start a new business. We started a mortgage company in 2020, and it just felt like coming up here and visiting, it just felt like a better place to raise a family because it had that small town feel and charm, but yet we had the city amenities that anybody would want, museums and shops and restaurants and theater and culture and that nature. And so I think that's what I like about it. It's still that small town. It's still that small town feel. It's gotten even better, actually. We have amazing places to eat here. Not that we're all going out to eat right now,
right?
But, the neighbors are all great neighbors. Everybody kind of bands together when, we have a crisis or an issue or, a neighbor's sick and they need food. And, you don't find that everywhere anymore. So we still have that here in Birmingham. We keep it a secret, though. We don't tell anybody.
So we won't tell anybody either then, right? Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and taking the time to spend with the Girl Ask Me Anything community and my audience at large. I am so excited that you're here because you do something that we all need. You're in a space of extreme wealth. And I want you to just go ahead and tell us, how long have you been in business? How long have you been doing what you're doing?
Well, I started on my own journey for better health 3 years ago. And then probably over a year and a half, I thought, well, a lot of people were asking me, can I come live with you, or can you come food shopping with me? Can I just, live with you for a month? And, kind of people just asked me for my expertise, my ideas, my thought, my services. And so I was like, okay. And so, I started where most of us entrepreneurs are starting these days, on social media, so that I could show people exactly how I live, how life with Allana is, and hence the name. Even though, probably branding wise, it might not have been a smart move, but that's what it is. It's my life, how I live it, how I continue on my health journey. And it's more realistic for people, I think. And that's really what I wanted to convey to people, is making it look like how it's going to possibly look for you, that you can do this. You don't have to get the gym bod going, and you don't have to cook gourmet meals and things like that. But you can get to better health by just tweaking a few things in the kitchen.
I love the fact that you do call it Life with Alana, because a lot of the times, we'll hear about all these gurus, right? And these experts, and they have maybe the wherewithal to reverse engineer things, or they might have the wherewithal to read a book. But it's very, very different when you are working with somebody who's actually living the life that they are sharing, and have created a business behind the transformation that they have experienced. So if you would you please share your own story on how you even got into becoming a certified nutrition coach?
So back in 2017, I was at my highest weight of 209 pounds. I'm only just about 5'7", almost 5'7.5". So 209 pounds is way too heavy. I had severe arthritis in my knees. I'd already had a knee surgery on both knees to try to mitigate all the pain I was always having. I mean, I couldn't even walk up the stairs. Right now, I'm upstairs in my husband's office. When we first moved into this house, I specifically kept my office downstairs because going up and down the stairs was not feasible. And so I was just kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had also battled fibromyalgia for over 20 years after my first child was born. And I was traveling a lot for my previous career. And a new CEO came in. And when I stalked his Facebook page, I saw that he was a big fitness guru. He was a CrossFitter. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to keep up with him, you know? And also being very overweight, I was like, well, how is he going to perceive me? Is he going to, look at my credentials, or is he going to look at me physically and, judge me as well? So I had that weighted on my mind, and he wasn't coming in really for a little while. I worked out of the office. I didn't have to be in the office, so I wouldn't have seen him right away. But and then on top of that, my mother-in-law was and still is dealing with dementia. She's not dealing with it. She's fine. She's happy and has a great attitude, but we're the ones that are having to watch her demise, right? Mm-hmm. And I came across this book called The Plant Paradox by Dr. Stephen Gundry. I came across the Facebook page. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, oh, he's going to get to the end of this 45-minute video and he's going to sell me a bunch of product. Mm-hmm. But what I ended up doing is just buying the book. And I read this book, and the book was such an eye-opener as to why I couldn't lose weight, why my mother-in-law might have, succumbed to dementia, even though she was seemingly healthy and ate low-fat, high-grain diets. And then even looking at my mother, who always struggled with weight loss, and my sister and my brother, it just all clicked. It made sense. And it was like a light bulb went off. I'm not a reader. I don't really like to read books. And I read that book in 2 plane flights across the country. And my husband was like, whoa, that must have been a really good book, because he knows I just fall asleep when I read, you know. And I came home. I remember beginning of October. I said, we are going to start this lifestyle. We're going to try it, because I don't want you to end up, you know, like your mother and and, you know, his father had suffered with dementia too, but he had a stroke, and he never really, you know, we didn't know how far along he had progressed, but he would have progressed. But he's like, okay. He reluctantly said, okay. But I'm like, if you're going to, you know, if you're going to want to eat when I'm home, you're going to have to eat what I'm cooking. And even looking at my children's allergies and you know, anxiety and stomach issues that they didn't even realize they were having. Um, we just I dove in head first, right? I mean, cleaned out the pantry entirely of everything that was in there. I threw it all away, because after reading the book, I was like, my husband's like, well, you should donate it. And I'm like, well, God, I don't want to, if this stuff is so horrible for me, why am I going to give it to a perfect stranger who, you know, who doesn't need this food either? So I went head first in, but I don't teach people to go head first, because I know that can just be expensive, number one, and pretty overwhelming to do a complete lifestyle change so quickly.
Mm-hmm. So, new job, you've been dealing with just some physical issues. You're dealing with other health issues that are coming along with the weight. You're dealing with some mindset stuff because you're not sure how this new, you know, boss is going to see you, if you're really going to be seen. And you read a book, and the book shifts you.
Yeah.
It shifts you. How did and I know you said that your husband was like, okay, okay, you're doing this, so maybe, you know, just kind of guide me along, just kind of slowly. You're like, nope, I'm tossing it all out. It's out of here. How did the shift happen with your family? Like, was there a tug of war with the food, or was it just like, okay, this is the way that it is? How did that all work?
So with my husband, he was on board because he needed to lose, you know, about 40 pounds as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was feeling sluggish. And he, you know, looking at his parents, realized, oh, I could end up like that. And what people don't realize is, you know, we couldn't keep my mother in her home, mother-in-law in her home, to care for her. The next best option was a facility, not a nursing home, but a specific memory care facility, because you don't want to just put somebody with dementia in assistant living or just in a nursing home. You want them to get the proper socialization, the proper activities, because she was physically, you know, up and moving around and walking, and would say, hey, how y'all doing? Let's go to lunch. And, you know, she was still very much human, I guess you would say, or her old self. And so that facility cost $7,000 a month.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so my husband's like, whew, boy, if this costs $7,000 a month, what's it going to cost in another 20 years? And he doesn't want to live that way. And he doesn't want us to have to live that way, coming to visit him, you know, at a memory care facility. Thank goodness for them, for the caretakers, for the nursing assistants, for the nurses, for the staff at these facilities. They are heroes. There is no doubt about that. But I personally, you know, I got to thinking, okay, if I can possibly change my health, my future health, so that my children are not dealing with this, or, you know, having the responsibility of having to take care of me that way, or in their own home, why wouldn't I do this for myself and my kids? That, you know, I don't want to cause them, I don't want to be a burden to them. Now that I know what can possibly stop my health demise, I don't want to be a burden to them. Mm-hmm. On purpose anyway, right? I mean, I know I might not be able to stop everything, but some of these things, you know, obesity, diabetes, dementia, possibly cancers, you know, all these things, for the most part, for a lot of us, can be prevented by just changing what we're eating.
Wow.
I'm not saying getting skinny. I mean, I'm not skinny by any means. I'm just, we're talking about gut health and leaky gut syndrome and, and get rid of a lot of toxins that people don't even realize, are in the air, in the types of, cups that you're using, the blue light that we're all, putting ourselves in front of all the time. All of those little things have an effect on our health. So, I mean, I've taken it even further by, I do read a lot now, because I'm like, okay, when you read, you get knowledge. And
Right.
when you research, better. And, some days I kind of have to close the book and go, oh, I can't do it all. I mean, there's so many things to it.
Wow. So here you are, you're in this transformation for your life, you're transforming your family, and you decide, okay, I think, well, people are coming to you. You said that people come and ask if they can come stay at your house so you
Yeah.
can cook for them. So people they're seeking you out and they're like, okay, you're doing something different. How much weight did you lose?
I lost 65 pounds.
Wow. And
And
how long did it take you to do that?
so I think the total 65 was about 2.5 years, because keep in mind, I did it realistically, right? I was traveling full time in my previous career. So I was on trains, planes, and automobiles about 75% of the time.
Mhm.
And, coming into a city late at night, dropping my bags in a hotel, eating, whatever was close by and convenient. So I did that while I was doing all this traveling. I tweaked what I did when I traveled. I traveled with a lunchbox, so I never ate one more snack on an airplane. Now, going out to a restaurant made it a little bit more difficult. So, I didn't beat myself up, but I did make smarter choices. If there was a good salad on the menu, I would choose that and maybe choose fish, even though I knew the fish was farm raised and that is not ideal, but that's better than eating a chicken or a cow that's fed corn, soy, and shot up with antibiotics and hormones. So it's about balancing things and eliminating sugar as much as possible, which sugar's in everything. But when I get home, I would get really strict and say, okay, I'm only going to eat clean. I'm only going to eat my organic food, my grass-fed beef, my pasture-raised chicken eggs. And if I ate cheese, it was cheeses from Europe, and almond milk, no cow's milk and things like that. So that's why it probably took 2.5 years. But I think keeping that slow, consistent pace
Mhm.
has enabled me to keep it going now for over 3 years. And I haven't put on the COVID, 10 or 15, since being, locked up. And if anything,
Who said
some of
locked
the,
up? It's locked
I,
up.
I know, locked up. We're not really locked up, but you feel like it sometimes.
I know it does.
We're locked out. That's what we are. We're locked out of
We're
places.
locked out of places, right? They're telling us to stay home.
Yeah, don't go in that door, but we go outside a lot. We do go outside and get a lot of vitamin D. I think probably I was thinking about it. The biggest change for me, mindset wise, is when I do feel like I'm stressed and getting anxious. The first thing I say to myself is nourish yourself, Allana.
Mm.
Not, I don't say, oh, I don't care. I'm just, the day just sucks. I'm just going to, fix a cocktail, or I'm going to have that piece of cake. And I don't do that anymore. I go, the first thing I tell myself is nourish yourself, Allana. And that usually includes a nice green smoothie to set the course of the day on the right path. There's Kathy.
Hey,
Hey,
Kathy,
Kathy.
thanks for joining us. You've got some fans here. I said, Peggy says Allana is the best resident expert, and you could not have a better friend. And
She is so sweet.
she's vouching for your cooking too. So I love that. I love that. And she also said that you've got some fantastic recipes. So I'm definitely sure that people that are watching, they're going to want to know about some of those recipes. Well,
Yeah.
this, what are some steps to so beyond the mindset and the discipline and the consistency that came with that, what are some steps that you took to master your strengths? Like, did you know before this that, you know what, I'm a very consistent, disciplined person. And so moving into this space of transforming my health and the health of my family, did you have to, did it take a lot of work for you to master that strength?
You know, I never felt like I was disciplined for myself, but I was certainly disciplined in my career. You know, I was well regarded. I was good at what I did in my career. People, came to me for advice. Everybody in the company, no matter what department they were working with, I was working with them. I made sure, I was always trying to be consistent with my children and the way I raised them, but the focus was never on me.
Mm,
So, in hindsight and looking back, you know, I think I was just so determined to feel better that I was like, you got to just get your butt in gear. You tell everybody else what to do. You give your expertise and everything else. Give yourself, that
mhm.
ability as well. And you can do this, Alana. I just said to myself, I can do this. And I guess having my husband full support, and the kids were good too. They were good about tasting things and giving me their opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. And
Mhm.
I would just, persevere on. And then I think also there is a community of people like me. We call ourselves the plant paradoxers after the book. That I was able to lean on and learn from them, especially with creating new recipes or recreating recipes, right? I still make hamburgers. Like tonight, I made a hamburger for dinner. It was The difference was it was made with grass-fed beef, cocoa aminos instead of soy sauce in it. And I made sure I loaded up the bun, the not the bun, but the hamburger with a lot of green salad
Mhm.
instead of, ketchup. And I did do mayonnaise, but I used an avocado based mayonnaise. So it's just about tweaking things just a little bit. And I won't have red meat again probably for another month. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but um, just you do things simply, and that's the other thing too. I do things very simply. I'm not really a gourmet chef at all. If you go to my Instagram account, my recipes, or my Facebook page, my recipes are very simple, and it's something everybody can make. And I either get my ingredients at my local grocery stores, Whole Foods, which is national, and then Amazon. So everything, I don't go to a specialty Asian store or, gourmet grocery store. It's just the regular grocery stores that are around me.
So you utilized the discipline that you had on your job and you turned that around to yourself, and then you kept it simple because you knew what would work for you. I think a lot of times, I mean, I've been off and on this whole health journey and trying to, reduce weight and all of that, and you'll have this whole yo-yo, situation that happens. But I think it makes it a little easier or more palatable when I hear, okay, well, you know what? You don't have to give up everything, right? You don't have
Right.
to toss everything out with the kitchen sink. Like, I would have a hard time, I think, going into my pantry and just tossing everything out. However, being honest, look, I just got to tell the
Oh, I
truth.
know. You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Yeah, tell the truth, shame the devil. But the small incremental changes, the small incremental changes that sometimes when we're trying something new, or we're wanting to make a radical change, we think we have to get radical.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like you have to get radical. You just got to do step one, step two, and keep it simple. That way, it will be a little easier to to make it a disciplined habit.
Yeah. And I think also what happens when you do change your lifestyle, i- if you do go off, you fall off the wagon,
Mhm.
you don't feel good. It's almost like having a hangover. And
Mhm.
you keep in mind, oh, wow, okay, so this is what this, people don't realize right now that you're feeling as bad as you're feeling, right? They don't even understand how bad they were actually feeling until you make the change. And immediately my husband, felt fantastic right away. And then if he faltered, he's like, whoo, I didn't realize this food was making me feel this bad. Let's go back to the right way of eating. So it really does make, once you're feeling great, it's, especially if you're somebody that felt bad for so long.
You don't want to go backwards. You don't want to go back to feeling bad.
You really don't want to go backwards. And, for Thanksgiving this week, we're actually having a lot of traditional foods. They're just being made differently. And keep in mind, we're not making low fat meals, because you need good fats for your brain and for your gut health. I've got a sweet potato pie in the freezer. It's made with, it's made with organic sweet potatoes. It's made with monk fruit instead of regular sugar.
What's that?
I have
I've never
monk
heard.
fruit. Monk fruit is something it's a sugar replacement that's not going to spike your blood sugar. Okay. And so, it's a natural sweetener, not an artificial sweetener. And then the pie crust is actually sort of a graham cracker crust, but I made it homemade with different flours that are not high in chemicals and pesticides and herbicides and Roundup and all that garbage. They're not genetically modified grains. They're made with, things like almond flour and sorghum and arrowroot and psyllium husk and different types of flours that are not ever heard of. I mean, I never heard of all of them before I started this lifestyle, but there's a yes and a no list. You stick to the yes list and you got it made. You just, there's been some trial and errors in making pie crust and pizza crust and some other meals, but for the most part, most of my stuff has come out really, really good, or just so-so. And I guess the other thing, probably my biggest thing, is I've changed my relationship with food, right? Because that's really where the problem lies, is what is your relationship with food? Are you eating for comfort? Are you eating because you're stressed? Or you're eating for nourishment? And if you're eating for nourishment, you're gonna choose the right kind of foods. And so that was my biggest change too, is changing my relationship with what I was using food for.
It's like that's totally a mindset shift in thinking. John Maxwell, he often says, when it comes to leadership is influence. It's nothing more, nothing less than that. And the most difficult person to lead is ourselves.
Yeah.
Is ourselves. And so we need to make these incremental, small steps, but consistent steps in making the changes. And I think that goes with anything, not just food.
Sure.
It goes with anything. It's really all about mindset. Let me ask you, so you're in business. You've been in business for how long now?
A little over a year, I guess, a year and a half, technically, but, officially.
Officially in business for a year and a half. What has been your greatest learning lesson being a new business owner, a new entrepreneur in this space?
The biggest one so far, because at first the business was just about sharing my information. And then I chose the formal path of creating a membership site where people can actually learn how to do this lifestyle, step by step with my guidance. But probably the biggest thing is to take a survey, ask questions of people, and don't create a product and just assume this is what everybody wants just because you think it's a good idea. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned so far. Because I get all excited with my ideas, but it might not be what everybody really wants. And so, you have to do some research and understand what the consumers want of your products from your business.
Yeah. I think we all get excited. We have this idea, it's something that we just want to, rush out there and share with the world. And like once we get past our warm market and trying to get more and more people attracted to what we do, this whole thing called attraction marketing, right? You you sell them what they want, but then you give them what they need. And there's a delicate balance between the two, because they're never they don't buy what we're selling, they actually buy us, and how we are going to meet their need and what they are looking for. It definitely takes that research, and learning a little bit more about them. So what advice would you give someone who is pursuing the idea of, I really love doing X. I really think I can make a go of it. What advice would you give someone who's thinking about starting a business?
I would say, don't wait for it to be perfect.
Say that again, girlfriend.
Don't wait
Yes.
for it to be perfect. Imperfect action is better than no action. Because I'm a perfectionist, and I was like, oh, I've got to have the website looking all like this, and I've got to have my brand looking all like this, and I've got to have all these products ready to go. And, I just, I just went for it. Matter of fact, I did, I put together a wellness event, a virtual wellness event. I just had this bright idea. I'm going to put together a live wellness event all day. I have all these amazing speakers, something for everybody. And that was all my plan was. And I just reached out to about 20 different people, and 14 people accepted, and boom, we just did it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't polished, but the content was amazing. And now I'm selling it as a replay for a product line. So, that's, and I feel great that I did it that way, because it wasn't as stressful, and you just got to do it. I mean, everything you do is not going to work, but you just got to keep doing it and learn from every activity that you do.
It's progress.
Yes.
Progress over perfection.
Yes.
We don't have to get it. We don't have to get it perfect. We just got to get it done.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
We just got to get it done. Kathy says that it was very good.
Yes.
And
it was very good.
She provided a fabulous day of wellness. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Peggy. Yeah, Peggy was there all day. She hung out with us live.
That is so awesome. So, what's one common myth that you would like to debunk about transforming into a nutritious lifestyle?
Well, one myth is you don't have to get in the gym every day, because I lost 65 pounds without stepping foot in the gym. That's number one.
Time out. Time out. Did y'all hear that?
I did.
Okay, so for those of you that are joining us right now, this is Coach Allana Pinkerton. My name is Coach Desi. We're here talking about the abundant life. And my girlfriend just said that she lost 65 pounds and never stepped foot in the gym.
So it goes to show you that it's really about the food that's going in your body. Now, should you exercise? Yes, because we need to keep those bones healthy and those muscles strong. Because, I'm 52 now. And, I'm watching my parents and my mother-in-law and, elderly people. You can actually stay strong your entire life. I mean, Jack LaLanne, I don't know if you know who that is. You might be too young, but Jack LaLanne, was strong. Yeah, he was strong as an ox till the day he died, So we need to stay strong. And so but my problem was with fibromyalgia and having a low pain threshold. I'd get in the gym, I would be so sore and ache so much with, you weren't motivated to eat healthy. And so it was just this vicious cycle. So I was just like, let me just focus on the food, get the feeling better, and then I'll get in the gym. And so now it's about getting outside and walking and doing squats and, lifting some weights. But I mean, nothing too harsh, just, weight bearing. I mean, would I like to have a nice, tight derriere like J-Lo? Sure. But, we'll work on it.
The difference between I posed a question in when I was sharing that I was going to have you on here. What a girl wants versus what a woman needs.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference in thinking that comes with the maturing from being a girl to being a woman and saying, okay, you know what? I want to have an amazing life starting now.
Right.
And I want to have, I want my kids to be happy. I want my spouse to be happy. I want, I want all these things. What does the abundant life as a full grown woman who has matured into this space, what does the abundant life look like today for you?
The abundant life for me today is about having control over my health, or at least giving me the ability to acknowledge how I'm feeling. And if it's something that needs attention, to find the right resources. I had that confidence in speaking with a doctor or another nutritionist or a functional medicine doctor. Like if I just having that ability to know when I need help as well. The abundant life for me now is knowing that I am doing better for my family because I'm doing better for myself.
That's powerful.
Um,
That
yeah.
that is powerful.
And again, guys, I'm not perfect. Did my 16-year-old run through the drive-through today? Yes. Did I cringe? Yes, but until I can give him more skills, and he is a lot further along than most teenagers. He understands, and he laughed about going into the new Milo's drive-through, but he will feel it later on in his stomach, and he'll be like, oh, and so he hasn't had, by the way, he hasn't had a soda, a beverage, a Coca-Cola soda in over 2 years.
A teenager?
Teenager, yeah. He doesn't drink
Wow.
soda.
That's awesome.
So, and even my oldest child, most of the time is vegetarian. He tries not to eat meat, and he doesn't eat. And he was big on drinking Mountain Dew all the time, and he hasn't had a Mountain Dew in over a year. It's been a year now that he finally realized, okay, this stuff is really making me sick and really causing a lot of digestive issues and a lot of craziness. So he hasn't had that in over a year either.
Wow. Allana, this has been a wealth of information. How can people find out more about what you do, the plant paradox? Tell us how they can connect with you and who you serve.
Well, I serve anybody that really wants to get healthy. I mean, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste my time. So if you're ready to make that change, then you're ready to work with me. Then, because I'm going to cheer you on, and I'm going to be a little stern with you at times, but I'm going to give you the tools that you need to, and I'm going to empower you to do the right things. I mean, I have one member who took months, but she is on track now, and she feels so much better about herself. But you can reach me on my website at www.lifewithallana.com. I am on Instagram at Allana Pinkerton. I'm on LinkedIn at Allana Pinkerton. Facebook made me do Allana C. Pinkerton, or I think you can just find me at Allana Pinky. They won't let me change Allana Pinky right now, so I have to work on that. But pretty much everywhere on social media, you can reach out to me, and we can either work one-on-one, or you can do a self-paced with the monthly fee, which, by the way, I don't charge a lot of money for it because I want you to spend money on the good quality food. So $25 a month gets you weekly downloads, usually a weekly live chat. Right now we're taking a little break, but I'm giving you a video to watch every week that's recorded. If you miss the live chat, then you have a recorded version of it. I give you a shopping list that has a built-in calculator, which, by the way, you can actually download right now for free on my website. I've got a few free downloads on my website as well. So go ahead and check those out.
That is awesome. So you guys, there's the website, www.lifewithallana.com. Check it out. That shopping calculator, that actually might be really, really that sounds awesome. She's got some free downloads that you can receive. The last question for you, Allana, and I ask everyone this question is, I often say that we are built for this right here, right now. And if you could share one thing to encourage the women that are listening to this live stream and to help them lead and press forward into the gifts that they've been given so that they can live an abundant life, what would you tell them?
Well, you deserve abundant life. We all deserve abundant life, no matter where we come from, no matter what our history is. It doesn't matter. You deserve good health. You deserve success. And that's what you just have to look in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you're worth it, no matter how you're feeling about yourself that day, no matter what somebody else said about you, yesterday. We as human beings deserve success. We deserve good health. We deserve love, and we deserve abundance.
I love it. Allana, thank you so much for being here with me tonight, for sharing your story, for encouraging us to know that we can go out there and we can make the shift.
Thank you.
Simple steps, but it can help to transform our lives and the lives of our families. So thank you. I honor you with that. And would you come back again and chat with us?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate your support, and I hope I've helped you. I know I sent you a few tips for your daughter a few months back, so I hope those are working as well.
Yes, they are. I thank you so much for that. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to close this out. I really hope that was of value to you. Living an abundant life is beyond just the material success that we want to have in our lives, but it truly is whole life. Lana was talking about it from the perspective of health and changing her life. And now she's using that to help change the lives of other people around the world. So I wanted to thank you so much for joining me on the Girl Ask Me Anything live stream, Monday Moments. Do not ever forget that you were built for this moment right here, right now. You have a gift to the world that God has given you, and we are here to support you in bringing that to the world. So thanks again for joining me tonight. And I want to bid you adieu, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.